Going on, world? My name
Yo,
is Kay
King.
Williams. On behalf of the Politicking Forum and HNS 420, I want to welcome everybody in tonight, our loyal supporters, and I'm here to introduce Ronnie Howard. What's going on, man? What's going on, Ronnie? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I can't complain, man. I'm good. Got somewhere to sleep, got food. I'm safe. Kids is healthy, not sick, so I can't complain, man.
Okay, so you rocking with the essentials. Cool. Everybody
Man,
blessed.
you know what I'm saying? You got to right now. I mean, I can sit up here and talk about how much shit is fucked up or how much other shit is fucked up. But, you know what I'm saying? Like with this shit happening, I ain't never heard in history somebody tell kids they can't go to school. So this is some new shit. This is some new shit.
I know. But that's a whole different topic, man. But I like to say, thanks for the opportunity for the sit down. I'm not even gonna call this an interview because I know you're not considered your family, brother, and I respect
Absolutely.
you.
Likewise.
So we all good there, man. Would you like to tell the loyal supporters and the new supporters want to come in and interested in the brand a little bit about what you're about, the brand, some of the people who's inspired you, so on and so forth?
Yeah, HNS stands for High Nation Society, and we do high nigga shit, which was, inspired by a lunch I had, me, my sister, and a girl I used to date. We went to lunch and we smoked before, and she went in there and pressed the waiter for some water. Like she had that drive out, so we was like, having some high nigga shit.
She was parched.
She was parched, and I mean badly. So we was laughing at that for 2 hours, and I said, "High nigga shit." And I went and did the label, and that's all she wrote from there. So we basically want to represent the cannabis community and show everybody that I've heard certain things like cannabis kills brain cells, false, or cannabis makes you dumb and lazy, false. We want to show everybody that cannabis users are productive. We're not lazy. We're not all gangsters, and we're not all just out here wasting time. That we could do things productively, and we are very creative, innovative people. So we want to kill the negative stigma that's put on cannabis users.
Right. Because you know what? For so many years, there is a stigma when in essence alcohol it's the counterpart, right? So
right.
It's been proven that marijuana has a medicinal use and alcohol has a pretty high violent rate, right? So let's roll with it. So
yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
let's talk about your upbringing, man. Your siblings, how many siblings you have, the city you grew up in, that influence on you, just the early parts of Ronnie, early bio Ronnie. Let's go.
Okay, I was born in Los Angeles, Gardena to be specific. Okay. My mother was an LA native. She grew up in LA. She sang in the state choir and all that stuff back in the day. So was born out there. Yeah.
Mom sang alto.
Yo, mom sang soprano, alto. You're right. She sang alto, and
she
was a hell of a singer. You know what I'm saying? So, mom, she grew up in LA. My father was a country boy. So, I was born in LA. My mom got robbed at gunpoint and moved us to Pomona. So I was raised in Pomona with 3 sisters, 2 brothers. No, I'm sorry, 1 brother. 3 sisters and 1 brother. I have an older brother who I met later on, but he wasn't raised with us. So it was, my 3 sisters and my mother. My older sister passed away, at 21. Rest in peace to her. But yeah, it was a family of 7 in the household. So in Pomona, I really love the LA. Those 2 cities are dear to my heart. So it's made me a true West Coaster.
Okay, easy influence on both sides. Okay, I understand. Yeah. I understand that. Man, this is gonna be a question that when you answer this, meant to inspire those who are walking the fine line or who are apprehensive about following their dreams. And you can take a little time to answer it, but what made you choose entrepreneurship over the structured 9 to 5? And have you had any regrets thus far?
Regrets? No. A lot of people say they never have regrets. I can't say I don't, but this isn't one of them. I think this life chose me, to be honest. I've always been an entrepreneur since I was young. Cut somebody's grass or do somebody's yard work, or try to do this and try to do that. And I learned how to do brakes very young, so I was doing people's brakes at 17 and making money here and there, selling candy at school. Doing stuff like that. Selling weed when I got older. Stuff like that. So it was you know, I had the entrepreneur spirit in me, and I also had a father that worked very hard. He worked very hard. He didn't have a college degree, so he did a lot of manual labor jobs, and he worked his ass off. And he really, you know, was the model worker, on time every day, you know, never doing anything wrong, work overtime, and all that stuff. And I seen how far it got him. So I said, that's for the birds, man. So, you know, I think it chose me, and it stuck with me throughout my adult life. It's not an easy life. It's a very, you know, challenging, difficult life, but it's the life that I think chose me.
Okay, so you've had experience with the structured 9-to-5, obviously, and then stepping out on God's leap of faith, walking into entrepreneurship. Do you approach both industries with the same tenacity as far as diligence, as far as punctuation, as far as meeting deadlines?
I mean, you have to, because I mean, I remember being at a lot of these jobs, and of course, when I'm at a job, I'm at a job. You know, I'm there to try to advance. I'm there to try to move up and try to make a life if I'm at that job. So if you can sit up here and have all this dedication and all of this hard working and all of this stuff for someone else's dream, you have to be able to do it for your own. So you have to approach it as is the job. But not only is it a job, it's your brand. So you have to approach it with similar to tenacity, but probably a new level of tenacity with your own, because it's your brand.
So we would be able to agree that once you walk into entrepreneurship and you get in the branding, you start believing, it becomes more of a lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's a lifestyle. It's something that your brand has to be something that fits your life, because you have to be able to keep it up. You have to be able to represent. You know, my brand represents me. It represents everything about me. So it's definitely more than just having a job, man. You have a brand, you have something to represent. So it means that much more. So you have to work that much harder at it to get it, you know, on par with a lot of these brands that have been around for a longer time.
And you know what? That's a perfect segue into my next question. How do you define the pinnacle of success, both entrepreneurship and personally, as Ronnie?
Personal, I would say success. You know, when I reach my pinnacle is, of course, want to live comfortable. I'm not going to sit up here and cap like I don't like nice things or I don't want nothing nice. You know, but basically, I mean, I'm not here to buy 7 Bentleys, no knock to those who are, but, you know, a nice crib, nice some things to drive in, a couple pieces of jewelry, you know, vacation spots. But, you know, all that is cool, but I want to be able to set up for generational wealth. Set it up for my children and my children's children. I feel once I reach that level, I've reached a level of success personally. Okay. Business-wise, being a young Black entrepreneur, you know, I went through, this is not my first rodeo in the business world. I was in another business, in a tech business, which only covered 1% was Black, African American. So it's already harder for us. So being a young entrepreneur, you know, with not a lot of financial resources or people that want to invest in you, I know how hard it is. So when I think I've reached that level of success is when I'm able to be that source. When I'm able to be that financial source that's giving small business loans out there, you know, advice or whatever I can provide. When I'm able to be the source for small businesses, I think I've reached my level of success.
So in essence, being able to spread the wealth and empower the people.
Absolutely, especially not just the people. I got, you know, African Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like we cover 12% of this country, and we own next to nothing. So I want, you know, us to start owning more, and that's you know, I can't just talk about it. I will have to be about it, and that's my way of contributing to that.
From a creative perspective, who does Ronnie look up to in the podcast world? Who's innovative to Ronnie creatively?
I like, as far as creativity, I'm gonna go with in my field. I like All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Stack Steven Jackson. You know, they kind of have similar. Of course, we know those brothers are heavy cannabis users. Shout out to Stack and Matt Barnes. You know, love y'all. That the show is popping. But you know, I like the way they approach their show and some of the ideas they have for theirs. So it's for creativity. Another one I can mention is Mike Tyson. hot boxing. You know, it's similar to what we got going on, and Mike Tyson is a character. So, you know, those two I like, Drink Champs and the structure of what they do. You watch a lot of that. I watch a lot of I watch Joe Budden's podcast, of course, The Breakfast Club and Hollywood Unlocked, and you know, I just pretty much take a little bit as far as on the creative side from these businesses. Now, as far as, you know, business wise, you know, a lot of them are millionaires that are starting businesses already. So we have a different grind when it comes to building the podcast. So I think, you know, unless I'm speaking to those guys personally, you know, it's not much I can't really take from how they made it there as opposed to how I'm going to make it there.
Cool. You know, for those since you're building your platform and, you know, by the grace of God, you're attaining loyal fans actually through your branding. How many times have Ronnie thought about quitting?
Woo! Oh man, you know what?
Why?
Woo! Okay, the biggest thing with being an entrepreneur and not coming from a rich background or even a stable background, you know what I mean? I'm also a single father of 3. Okay. And that comes first. So if you're an entrepreneur and what you're doing is not putting money on the table and it's taking a lot of your time, you have a problem because you still have to provide, feed, and nurture 3 children first. Okay. So a lot of times when I've been on some of my journeys and it hasn't been going right, you know, I almost have the thoughts of, damn, like I got to stop doing this because it's not being productive. You know, I'm losing time and I'm not getting no financial gain. So when you're trying to have a family and trying to balance that type of stuff, you know, it's more difficult. So I don't think I've said I quit, but I've had the thoughts of like, damn, maybe I shouldn't do this. But every time I try, some keep pulling me back. Like, nah, man, that ain't you. You can't do it, man. You can't quit.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure the lives that you're affecting out there in the world through the branding and as well as the politicking forum, HNS 420. It's a beautiful thing, man, and just continue to thrive. And you have any other closing remarks as we close out, brother?
Yeah, you know, I want to make sure everybody stay tuned. You know, we're going to be dropping the spring and a summer clothing brand at HNS 420. It's going to be at hns420.com. We have apparel, you know, sports apparel for men and women. So look out for that. Look out for us in our blog spot, Politicking at WordPress. We have several creative writers. This brother that's talking to me right now, Kenneth Williams, I've probably seen some of this content up there. You know, myself, Ronnie, Howard, Cortez, Holloway, Kalen Bonds, we all writing at our blog spot. So check that out. And check out our podcast, you know, we got going on. We have a couple new podcasts coming out. What's the word? You know, we just did that one last night. So, you know, we got that. We got a lot of content coming. So just stay tuned and stay fucking with us. Y'all gonna see a lot of great things coming from us. And stay on that 420 tip. HNS 420. You know, we represent the cannabis community. So everybody who love cannabis, you know, when y'all smoking, think about the brand.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead. So on behalf of the Politicking Forum and HNS 420, thank you all the loyal fans, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yes, sir.